Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo. Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo, Hare Bo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Haribo.
Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktarinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Oh Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Oh Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram Ram Ram, Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Oh, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Ram Hare Hare. Krishna,
Hare Krishna,
Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Happy Govardhan, Puja ki, Hari Hari Bol. Want to thank all of you for coming to our yearly annual Govardhan Puja. It's so nice to see so many devotees. We are starting the Abhishek, so we request devotees to please start filing in line. The men first, then we have the women. Kirtan will go on, but I request devotees to please come closer. There is a huge ocean of oasis waiting for bodies to fill the space. And I promise you, the ocean will not swallow you. I can guarantee you that. So please come up way close. That way we can all get more space for people as more people come forward. Again, please do enjoy the Abhishek and do enjoy the Kirtan, and we'll continue on to the program. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Bolo. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Premanande.
Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. So to give you a little news, we have an hour wait because the deities have to get dressed in their new outfit and they have to look pretty and nice for us. And then they have to have their meals because they eat before we do. That's why it's called prasadam. So until they get dressed and they honor the prasadam, I mean their voga and everything, we have to patiently wait. So in that meantime, we are going to have a wonderful lecture given by Naveen Sham right here, good friend, buddy of ours. And he's going to be speaking on something with Govardhan Leela. He's full of surprises, so I'm sure it's going to be a good one. But one request is I'm going to request all of us to come way closer. Sometimes we get comfortable with the chairs and the walls. But Prabhupada says it's the walls and the chairs that make us go, and doze off. The only way we don't doze off is when we have to use our own backs to support our backs. So can we come close? There's a big oasis here. I promise you, we won't eat you. Come on. A little bit, I think there's a song, right? A little bit further or something? This has been a long, I come from the 70s, so something like that. But yeah, come closer, please. Come closer. And Naveen Sham, it's all yours. Very well. If any of you may not know him, Naveen Sham is actually one of our residents in Harrisburg. He is, he's been in ISKCON for many, many years. What, 20, 30 years probably, Prabhu?
My whole life.
Whole life. So he's a very old man.
Just like them, you see, right? These lovely
Yeah,
kids. Who was
all
chanting.
his life. Spiritually, he's a very nice devotee. He's actually a senior disciple of His Holiness Bhakti Swami. And professionally, he is a corporate lawyer, and he works for the federal courthouse. Sorry, guy. Federal courthouse of Dauphin County. So if you want to know anything with law, this is the man right here. And we're very fortunate to hear from him. He, very, very blessed. So please, and a quick test. There'll be a quiz at the end, right, Naveen?
Yeah,
Thank you.
graded.
So stay awake, because he's going to ask questions, and then it's going to be a graded one, right? Haribol.
Hare Krishna. Very happy to see you all. Anyone's coming to this temple for first time? Maybe you've been to other temples? Yeah? Have you been to other Hare Krishna temples? No. Oh, okay. Very good. And you've come with your friend here. Oh, okay, very good. Well, I hope you have a nice time. And Prabhu, you come to this temple usually, or there's another one that you go to? Oh, okay. Oh, very good. Well, okay, well, welcome. Happy to see you all. So what we'll do today is I'm going to read the story of Govardhan Leela, just like the English translations from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, and then stop here and there to give some commentary and like that. So after the class, Anushu, Mataji, after the class is, what's the next part of the program? Okay. Okay, very good. Om Jnanatimirandasya Ganandana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Shaya Bhutale Smriti Bhakti Charu Swami Tyavane Snigrase Suparita Vaganim Charasapatam Prabhudagata Pranam Nami Bhakti Chabarum Namo Vishnu Paraya Krishna Shaya Bhutale Bhakti Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Vikora Varam Sharini Nirvishesha Shunyavari Pashatya Deshatarani. Yeah, so I know there's young boys here leading kirtan, and they've been coming, I don't know, maybe your whole lives. Huh? Have you been coming your whole life? No? Anyway, so watch out. You'll end up giving class. You'll get hooked. All right, so this is from 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukadeva Goswami said, while staying in that very place, With his brother Baladev, Lord Krishna happened to see the cowherd men busily arranging for a sacrifice to Indra. Being the omniscient supersoul, the Supreme Lord Krishna already understood the situation, yet he still humbly inquired from the elders headed by his father Nanda Maharaj. Lord Krishna said, "My dear father, kindly explain to me what this great endeavor of yours is all about. What is it meant to accomplish? If this is a ritual sacrifice, then for whose satisfaction is it intended, and by what means is it going to be executed? Please tell me about it, O Father. I have a great desire to know, and am ready to hear in good faith. Certainly no secrets are to be kept by saintly personalities who see all others as equal to themselves, who have no conception of mine or another's, and who do not consider who is a friend, who is an enemy, and who is neutral. One who is neutral may be avoided like an enemy, but a friend should be considered like one's own self. When people in this world perform activities, sometimes they understand what they are doing, and sometimes they don't. Those who know what they are doing achieve success in their work, whereas ignorant people do not. Such being the case, this ritualistic endeavor of yours should be clearly explained to me. Is it a ceremony based on scriptural injunction, or simply a custom of ordinary society?" So I want to comment a little bit on that. So sometimes people ask, what's the difference between Hare Krishna movement and Hinduism? And so one of the answers I gave, I thought of this at the Baltimore Rath Yatra one year, And I said, well, if you go to average Hindu person, you say, oh, do you know what the Bhagavad Gita is? Yes, I know. You believe in Bhagavad Gita? Yes, I believe. Have you read Bhagavad Gita? No, not so much. This is the difference. So Krishna Consciousness, we read it and we study it, word for word, and then the meaning. So this is the difference. So that's what I said. I said, well, we just get serious about it. So the same thing is, everything we do, everything you see we're doing here, everything has a reason. Absolutely everything. And you should ask, and you should know, especially those who are younger, you should understand why we do everything. Otherwise, like my father, he was born in India. He was raised vegetarian. He even went to a vegetarian college. This is a long time ago, Indian Institute of Technology in Ranchi, or some school in Ranchi, I think. Yeah, in Bihar. And then he came here as a grad student, as a grad student, and then got married and took me to a steakhouse. So he's Hindu. Even the Hindus in India who eat meat, they don't go eat beef. That's off limits. They eat goat, chicken, whatever. So why did this happen? Because there was no basis. He was vegetarian just by habit, by upbringing. It was not understood what is the reason. So he comes here, okay, maybe the American cows, you can kill them, but not the Indian cows, right, or whatever. So, and we were going to the temple in Laguna Beach, California. Bhattahari Prabhu was the president there. Yeah, at some point, and we were going regularly, and we were still eating meat. This is when I was quite young. And we were going to the Sunday feast at Laguna Beach. Before that, in Cleveland, Ohio. The deities that are in the Bhakti Center in New York, they were in Cleveland. So every Sunday we were going. Finally, Bhattahari Prabhu said at once, he said, maybe you can at least stop eating beef. How about that? Anyways, then we quickly became vegetarian. But that's the point, right? Know why you're doing things. Don't just do it because it was a custom or your grandmother did it. Diwali, right? Know what Diwali is. Many things happened on that day, but where does even the word come from? Does anyone know what the actual word, Diwali, what it's coming from? What's the actual Sanskrit word? Someone here. So say it. Don't be shy. Who said? Did you say? What is it? Deepavali. Right? Then it just became shortened, right? Deepavali. See this? Those are deeps, those are lamps, and they're in a row, right? So we're welcoming Ram on the new moon night, welcoming him back with rows of lamps. So anyways, all these things you should know. All right, we'll continue with the story. Nanda Maharaj replied, the great Lord Indra is the controller of the rain. The clouds are his personal representatives, and they directly provide rainwater, which gives happiness and sustenance to all creatures. Not only we, my dear son, but also many other men worship him, the Lord and Master of the rain-giving clouds. We offer him grain and other paraphernalia of worship produced through his own discharge in the form of rain. By accepting the remnants of sacrifices performed to Indra, people sustain their lives and accomplish the threefold aims of religiosity, economic development, and sense gratification. Thus, Lord Indra is the agent responsible for the fruit of the success of industrious people. This religious principle is based on sound tradition. Anyone who rejects it out of lust, enmity, fear, or greed will certainly fail to achieve good fortune. Shukadeva Goswami said, when Lord Keshava, Krishna, heard the statements of his father Nanda and other senior residents of Vraja, he addressed his father as follows to arouse anger in Lord Indra. Lord Krishna said, it is by the force of karma that a living entity takes birth, and it is by karma alone that he meets his destruction. His happiness, distress, fear, and sense of security all arise as the effects of karma. Even if there is some supreme controller who awards all others the results of their activities, he must also depend upon a performer's engaging in activity. After all, there's no question of being the bestower of fruit of results unless fruit of activities have actually been performed. Living beings in this world are forced to experience the consequences of their own particular previous work. Since Lord Indra cannot in any way change the destiny of human beings, which is born of their own nature, why should people worship him? So this is a very interesting argument that Krishna is giving, and to some extent it is true. And this is a very profound concept if it's understood. And I'll read actually the purport to this verse, which was by disciples of Srila Prabhupada. He had passed before he translated this portion of Bhagavatam. Lord Krishna's argument here is not a negation of free will. If one accepts the existence of karma as a system of laws awarding reactions for our present activities, then we ourselves, according to our nature, will decide our future. Ultimately, everything that happens to you is based on something you did in the past. It's actually very empowering. Because what are the alternatives? The stuff that happens to you is random. Does that make you feel good? The stuff that's just random? Or someone else is deciding. God, somebody else is deciding, yeah, this person gets born like this person wins the lottery, this person gets in a car accident, whatever. So they're just deciding. It's not random, but they are deciding. Or you decided. You did something. Our happiness and distress in this life have already been adjudicated and fixed according to our previous activities, and not even the demigods can change that. They must award us the prosperity or poverty, sickness or health, happiness or distress due us by our previous work. However, we still retain the freedom to select a pious or impious mode of activity in this life, and the choice we make will determine our future suffering and enjoyment. So we're going to read another paragraph just explaining this concept. What you are experiencing in this life is based on what you did in your last life. And what you're doing now is going to determine what you experience in your next life. This is not what they teach you in college. This is not the underpinning of Western civilization, which is work hard and then you will get the results. The philosophy of the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedic tradition, is that it's already happened before. And Prabhupada would say, just like you don't seek out misery, you don't endeavor to have bad things happen to you. You don't try. And yet they happen anyways. So he says, similarly, the good things you are meant to have will come. So here it's explained. For example, if I was pious in my last life
In this life, the demigods reward me great material wealth, but I am free to spend my riches for good or for bad purposes, and my choice will determine my future life. Thus, although no one can change the karmic results due him in this life, everyone still retains his free will, by which he determines what his future situation will be. Lord Krishna's argument here is quite interesting. However, it neglects the overriding consideration that we are all eternal servants of God and must satisfy him by all that we do. It's a very powerful philosophy there. Someone may say, well, if you say that so I can just sit here and not do anything, and the good things I'm supposed to have happen will come? Yes. The answer is yes, but you won't do it. And why won't you do it? Because you weren't meant to do it, right? So if you wish to test this out, I guarantee it will work. Absolutely guarantee. Money back. We'll give you your admission price to the festival today back. If you wish to test it out, you can test it out, and it will work. I guarantee it. But if it's not meant to be, you won't do it. You won't do it. So that's the response to that common thing. No, but if I don't work, I won't get the money, and I can't buy these things. Check it out. Test it out. Even for a week or a month. You'll be amazed. All right, we'll continue the story. Every individual is under the control of his own conditioned nature, and thus he must follow that nature. This entire universe with all its demigods, demons, and human beings is based on the conditioned nature of the living entities. Because it is karma that causes the conditioned living entity to accept and then give up different high and low-grade material bodies, this karma is his enemy, friend, and neutral witness, his spiritual master and controlling Lord. Therefore, one should seriously worship work itself. A person should remain in the position corresponding to his nature and should perform his own duty. Indeed, that by which we may live nicely is really our worshipable deity. If one thing is actually sustaining our life, but we take shelter of something else, how can we achieve any real benefit? We would be like an unfaithful woman who can never achieve any actual benefit by consorting with her paramour. Just a quick aside there. Just my guru made this point when he would travel, because he had so many disciples, and he's traveling, not spending very much time in any one particular temple. And so he would say, he said, you know, you're accepting me as your spiritual master, initiating spiritual master, but I wasn't the one that brought you to Krishna consciousness. Somebody else is teaching you things. Somebody else is giving you knowledge. So you should appreciate that. He said, so please offer all respect and honor and follow your local authorities, your shiksha gurus, So it's very important, very important. If those of you are getting inspiration, knowledge from Anasuya Mataji, Parikshit Prabhu, right? Even if you end up taking this formal initiation from someone else, don't forget who nurtured you in your spiritual life, right? All right, we're coming up to the second most important verse that we'll talk about today. The Brahmana maintains his life by studying and teaching the Vedas. The member of the royal order by protecting the earth, the Vaishya by trade, and the Shudra by serving the higher twice-born classes. The occupational duties of the Vaishya are conceived in 4 divisions: farming, commerce, cow protection, and money lending. Out of these, we as a community are always engaged in cow protection. The causes of creation, maintenance, and destruction are the 3 modes of nature, namely goodness, passion, and ignorance. In particular, the mode of passion creates this universe, and through sexual combination causes it to become full of variety. Impelled by the material mode of passion, the clouds pour down their rain everywhere, and by this rain all creatures gain their sustenance. What is the great Indra to do with this arrangement? Again, this is Krishna, right, seeing that his father and the village are going to worship Indra, and he's trying to convince him to do something else. What does he want them to do? He's about to tell you. My dear father, our home is not in the cities or towns or villages. Being forest dwellers, we always live in the forest and on the hills. Therefore, make a sacrifice for the pleasure of the cows, the brahmanas, and Govardhan hill. With all the paraphernalia collected for worshipping Indra, let this sacrifice be performed instead. Let many different kinds of food be cooked, from sweet rice to vegetable soups. Many kinds of fancy cakes, both baked and fried, should be prepared, and all the available milk products should be taken for this sacrifice. So that's the most important verse. especially for our local authorities. Many kinds of fancy cakes, both baked and fried. So we have many kinds of cakes. I just want to make sure this is Krishna's order. Fried, it's like go to the fair, they fry Twinkies. So anyways, that's what we'll do for next festival. Have many kinds of, like the cows, the brahmanas, the sacrificial fires, and Govardhan Hill. This is my idea, O Father, and you may carry it out if it appeals to you. Such a sacrifice will be very dear to the cows, the brahmanas, and Govardhan Hill, and also to me. Krishna makes the same offer in Bhagavad Gita after teaching Arjuna in 600 something shlokas. Yat ichasi tata kuru. I have spoken all this knowledge, now you do as you wish. Now you do as you wish. Free will. Free will. He didn't say, I will smite you, I will punish you if you don't obey me. He's saying, this is my opinion, this is my advice. If you want to follow it, follow it. If you don't, you don't. Shukadeva Goswami said, Lord Krishna was himself powerful time, desired to destroy the false pride of Lord Indra. When Nanda, the other senior men of Vrindavan, heard Sri Krishna's statement, they accepted his words as proper. The cowherd community then did all that Madhusudan had suggested. They arranged for the brahmanas to recite the auspicious Vedic mantras, and using the paraphernalia that had been intended for Indra's sacrifice. They presented offerings to Govardhan Hill, and the brahmanas with reverential respect. They also gave grass to the cows. Then placing the cows, bulls, and calves in front of them, they circumambulated Govardhan. As the beautifully ornamented cowherd ladies followed along, riding on wagons drawn by oxen, they sang the glories of Lord Krishna, and their songs mingled with the brahmanas' chanting of benedictions. Krishna then assumed an unprecedented huge form to instill faith in the cowherd men. Declaring, I am Govardhan mountain, he ate the abundant offerings. So we should understand this just as a detail. So there's three Krishnas in Govardhan Leela. One is the little boy Krishna talking to his father, right? Two is Govardhan Hill himself, the hill, right? Because and then there's this third gigantic form that Krishna assumes, that he says, oh look, that's Govardhan Hill. And then that's the form that starts eating all the offerings. So it's like three Krishnas happening. Together with the people of Raj, the Lord bowed down to this form of Govardhan Hill, thus in effect offering obeisances to himself. Then he said, just see how this hill has appeared in person and bestowed mercy upon us. This Govardhan Hill, assuming any form he wishes, will kill any residents of the forest who neglect him. Therefore, let us pay our obeisances to him for the safety of ourselves and our cows. The members of the cowherd community, having thus been inspired by Lord Vasudeva to properly execute the sacrifice to Govardhan Hill, the cows and the brahmanas returned with Lord Krishna to their village. All right, so that's one of three chapters. So now we find out what does Indra react to his sacrifice being derailed. Shukadeva Goswami said, my dear King Parikshit, when Indra understood that his sacrifice had been put aside, he became furious with Nanda Maharaj and the cowherd men who were accepting Krishna as their lord. Angry Indra sent forth the clouds of universal destruction, known as Samvartaka. Imagining himself the supreme controller, he spoke as follows. This is Indra. Just see how these cowherd men living in the forest have become so greatly intoxicated by their prosperity. They have surrendered to an ordinary human being, Krishna, and thus they have offended the gods. They're taking shelter of Krishna just like the foolish attempt of men who abandon transcendental knowledge of the self and instead try to cross over the great ocean of material existence in the false boats of fruitive ritual sacrifices. These cowherd men have acted inimically toward me by taking shelter of this ordinary human being, Krishna, who thinks himself very wise, but is simply a foolish, arrogant, over-talkative child. Now to the clouds, he says, the prosperity of these people has made them mad with pride, and their arrogance is backed up by Krishna. Now go and remove their pride and bring their animals to destruction. I will follow you to Vraja, riding on my elephant, Airavata, and taking with me the swift and powerful wind gods to decimate the cowherd village of Nanda Maharaj. Shukadeva Goswami said, on Indra's order, the clouds of universal destruction released untimely from their bonds. They're supposed to rain down a big flood when it's just time to destroy everything, but he's releasing them. They went to the cowherd pastures of Nanda Maharaj. There they began to torment the inhabitants by powerfully pouring down torrents of rain upon them. Propelled by the fearsome wind gods, the clouds blazed with lightning bolts and roared with thunder as they hurled down hailstones. As the clouds released torrents of rain as thick as massive columns, the earth was submerged in the flood, and high ground could no longer be distinguished from low. The cows and other animals, shivering from the excessive rain and wind, and the cowherd men and ladies, pained by the cold, all approached Lord Govinda for shelter. Trembling from the distress brought about by the severe rainfall and trying to cover their heads and calves with their own bodies, the cows approached the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So this is an important lesson. You'll notice Krishna did not stop the rainstorm from happening in the first place. Indra came, the rainstorm came, the hailstones came, and they're suffering. They're pained by the cold. They're trembling from the distress. So, Krishna will protect you. But it doesn't mean nothing bad will ever happen and you won't have any suffering. So the question would be, well, why? Why? If I'm trying to be his devotee, and he's all powerful and he's all good, why would he let that happen to me? Well, let's find out. This is from Bhagavatam, talking about the right way to view this suffering. Translation of the verse, this is 10:14:8. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds, and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. Tatte nukampam susamikshamano bunjana evatma kritang vipakam hridvag vapur bir vididham namaste jiveto yo mukti pade sadhaya bhak. Srila Sridhar Swami explains in his commentary, just as a legitimate son is to simply remain alive to gain an inheritance from his father, one who simply remains alive in Krishna consciousness, following the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga, automatically becomes eligible to receive the mercy of the personality of Godhead. In other words, he will be promoted to the kingdom of God. The word susamikshamana indicates that a devotee earnestly awaits the mercy of the Supreme Lord even while suffering the painful effects of previous sinful activities. Lord Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita that a devotee who fully surrenders unto him is no longer liable to suffer the reactions of his previous karma. So most people, like what we said, right? Your past life determined what you're experiencing now. So if you haven't taken shelter of Krishna, if you haven't started on this path, if you're just going along, that's what's happening, okay? So Krishna is saying, no, once you're trying to be my devotee, that's not why bad stuff happens to you. I stopped that. No karma. Karma doesn't apply to you. So why is bad stuff happening? However, because in his mind a devotee may still maintain the remnants of his previous sinful mentality, the Lord removes the last vestiges of the enjoying spirit by giving his devotee punishments that may sometimes resemble sinful reactions. The purpose of the entire creation. Who wants to know that, right? Why am I here? What is supposed to be going on? Why is the world like it is? The purpose is to rectify the living entity's tendency to enjoy without the Lord. And therefore, the particular punishment given for a sinful activity is specifically designed to curtail the mentality that produced the activity. Bad stuff happens to ordinary people to teach them something, to rectify them. It's not gratuitous punishment. It is rectification. Although a devotee has surrendered to the Lord's devotional service until he is completely perfect in Krishna consciousness, he may maintain a slight inclination to enjoy the false happiness of this world. Or more than a slight inclination, right? I mean, just because we're trying to be devotees. But, so what do we do with that, right? Where there's some illusion. We still think, hey, the next thing I eat, the next car I drive, the next job I have will make me happy, even though all the other cars and all the other meals and all the other jobs didn't, right? We're still illusioned. So how does he help us get over that? The Lord therefore creates a particular situation to eradicate this remaining enjoying spirit. This unhappiness suffered by a sincere devotee is not technically a karmic reaction. It is rather the Lord's special mercy for inducing his devotee to completely let go of the material world and return home back to Godhead. So if we accept that in that spirit and not blame, why is this happening to me, God? Right? We say the good things happen. We don't say, why did I have to win the lottery? Why, Lord? Why me? Why not somebody else? Why? Why do I get $10 million? No, we don't say that. But something bad happens, right? Why did I have to get in the car accident? So this is the thing, is if we have this mentality of we're waiting for the Lord's mercy, and while we're doing that, we know we've done past misdeeds and that we have an inclination to do more of those. So that needs to be cured in our heart. We need that medicine. So we know, okay, some reaction's coming. I know Krishna, he's minimizing it, and he's just like an expert doctor, an expert teacher. He's just giving me exactly what I need to burn out some anartha, unwanted thing in my heart. And while that's happening, if we're just like, I know this is for my good. I know this is for my good, Krishna. I accept it. I accept it. Then we become rightful inheritors of mukti. So this is the proper mentality. All right, let's continue. So they're suffering, right? But then they're going to take shelter of Krishna, and it'll make them think of Krishna. The cowherd men and women address the Lord. Krishna, Krishna, O most fortunate one, please deliver the cows from the wrath of Indra. O Lord, you are so affectionate to your devotees. Please save us also. Seeing the inhabitants of his Gokul rendered practically unconscious by the onslaught of hail and blasting wind, the Supreme Lord Hari understood that this was the work of angry Indra. Sri Krishna said to himself, because we have stopped his sacrifice, Indra has caused this unusually fierce, unseasonable rain together with terrible winds and hail. By my mystic power, I will completely counteract this disturbance caused by Indra. Demigods like Indra are proud of their opulence, and out of foolishness they falsely consider themselves the Lord of the universe. I will now destroy such ignorance. Since the demigods are endowed with the mode of goodness, the false pride of considering oneself the Lord should certainly not affect them. When I break the false prestige of those bereft of goodness, my purpose is to bring them relief. You're Brett. Oh, Jai. Okay, I only met you on the video. It just occurred to me. Okay, anyways, that wasn't in here, but Jai, nice to meet you. Having said this, Lord Krishna, who is Vishnu himself, picked up Govardhan hill with one hand and held it aloft, just as easily as a child holds up a mushroom. The Lord then addressed the cowherd community. O mother, O father, O residents of Vraja, if you wish, you may now come under this hill with your cows. You should have no fear that the mountain will fall from my hand, and don't be afraid of the wind and rain, for your deliverance from these afflictions has already been arranged. So it's a far out story, and that's what most people will think. It's just a story. We accept it as history. God can do whatever he wants, right? So he's picking up a hill as if it's a mushroom. I don't know how he does it, From one end, it would seem harder. Doesn't get in the center, but he does it with his pinky of his left hand. That's what it says in Scripture. So, what are you going to do? He can do whatever he wants. And this is how he chooses to protect. And you'll notice he says, you should have no fear that the mountain will fall from my hand. So other places in Shastra it says that I don't know if we have a picture of, but you'll see, so everyone's under the hill, and so some of the cowherd men are thinking, gosh, he's just a little boy, he's holding it. Maybe we should help him. We'll take our sticks. We'll put it under, right? Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, thank you. Right, so he's holding it, and so everyone's looking. So trust Krishna. And you'll see this in your life. This is the thing is, there's a gospel song. He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. He may not be there when you want him, but he'll be there right on time. He's an on-time God. Yes, he is. Right? So he's an on-time God. He will not be early. He will not give you one little bit more than you need, but he won't be late. He won't even be 1 second late, and he won't even be 1 grain of sugar, $1 short. You will get exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. You just have to trust. You have to trust. You don't think his hand can hold up the hill? It can. Don't worry. Don't use your mundane logic. Just you have faith, and then you will see the results, and that will help you have more faith. And that's how it works. You don't have to have full faith to begin. Just a little. You listen to the philosophy, you're here, someone you like, respect, right? They're also following. You think, let me try. Try a little bit, and he'll reciprocate. And then you'll go, oh, well, that worked. Why don't I try a little more? And keep going like that. Okay. Their minds thus pacified by Lord Krishna, they all entered beneath the hill, where they found ample room for themselves and all their cows, wagons, servants, and priests, and for all the members of the community as well. Lord Krishna, forgetting hunger and thirst, and putting aside all considerations of personal pleasure, stood there holding up the hill for 7 days as the people of Vraja gazed upon him. When Indra observed this exhibition of Lord Krishna's mystic power, he became most astonished. Pulled down from his platform of false pride and his intentions thwarted, he ordered his clouds to desist. Seeing that the fierce wind and rain had now ceased, the sky had become clear of rain clouds, and the sun had risen, Lord Krishna, the lifter of Govardhan Hill, spoke to the cowherd community as follows. My dear cowherd men, please go out with your wives, children, and possessions. Give up your fear. The wind and rain have stopped, and the river's high waters have subsided. After collecting their respective cows and loading their paraphernalia into their wagons, the cowherd men went out. The women, children, elderly persons gradually followed them. While all the living creatures looked on, the Supreme Personality of God had put down the hill in its original place, just as it had stood before. All the residents of Vrindavan were overwhelmed with ecstatic love, and they came forward and greeted Sri Krishna according to their individual relationships with him. Some embracing him, others bowing down to him, and so forth. The cowherd women presented water mixed with yogurt and unbroken barley corns as a token of honor, and they showered auspicious benedictions upon him. Mother Yashoda, Mother Rohini, Nanda Maharaj, and Balaram, the greatest of the straw, all embraced Krishna. Overwhelmed with affection, they offered him their blessings. In the heavens, O king, all the demigods, including the Siddhas, Sadhyas, Gandharvas, and Charnas, sang the praises of Lord Krishna and showered down flowers in great satisfaction. My dear Parikshit, the demigods in heaven resoundingly played their conch shells and kettle drums, and the best of the Gandharvas, led by Tumburu, began to sing. Surrounded by his loving cowherd boyfriends and Lord Balaram, Krishna then went off to the place where he had been tending his cows. The cowherd girls returned to their homes, singing joyfully about the lifting of Govardhan Hill and other glorious deeds performed by Lord Krishna, who had so deeply touched their hearts. Then we have to skip one chapter where they're kind of praying, and then we get to the final chapter of the pastime, where Indra kind of comes down and he's praying. Shukadeva Goswami said, after Krishna had lifted Govardhan Hill and thus protected the inhabitants of Vraja from the terrible rainfalls, Surabhi, the mother of the cows, came from her planet to see Krishna. She was accompanied by Indra. Indra was very ashamed of having offended the Lord. Approaching him in a solitary place, Indra fell down and lay his helmet, whose effulgence was as brilliant as the sun, upon the Lord's lotus feet. Indra had now heard of and seen the transcendental power of omnipotent Krishna, and his false pride in being the Lord of the three worlds was thus defeated. Holding his hands together in supplication, he addressed the Lord as follows. King Indra said, your transcendental form, a manifestation of pure goodness, is undisturbed by change, shining with knowledge and devoid of passion and ignorance. In you does not exist the mighty flow of the modes of material nature, which is based on illusion and ignorance. How then could there exist in you the symptoms of an ignorant person, such as greed, lust, anger, and envy, which are produced by one's previous involvement in material existence, and which cause one to become further entangled in material existence? And yet, as the Supreme Lord, you impose punishment to protect religious principles and curb down the wicked. You are the Father and spiritual master of this entire universe, and also its supreme controller. You are insurmountable time, imposing punishment upon the sinful for their own benefit. Indeed, in your various incarnations, selected by your own free will, you act decisively to remove the false pride of those who presume themselves masters of this world. Even fools like me, who proudly think themselves universal lords, quickly give up their conceit and directly take to the path of the spiritually progressive when they see you are fearless, even in the face of time. Thus you punish the mischievous only to instruct them. Engrossed in pride over my ruling power, ignorant of your majesty, I offended you. O Lord, may you forgive me. My intelligence was bewildered, but let my consciousness never again be so impure. You descend into this world, O transcendent Lord, to destroy the warlords who burden the earth and create many terrible disturbances. O Lord, you simultaneously act for the welfare of those who faithfully serve your lotus feet. Obeisances unto you, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the great soul, who are all-pervading, and who reside in the hearts of all. My obeisances unto you, Krishna, the chief of the Yadu dynasty. Unto him who assumes transcendental bodies according to the desires of his devotees. Unto him whose form is itself pure consciousness. Unto him who is everything, who is the seed of everything, and who is the soul of all creatures, I offer my obeisances. My dear Lord, when my sacrifice was disrupted, I became fiercely angry because of false pride. Thus I tried to destroy your cowherd community with severe rain and wind. O Lord, you have shown mercy to me by shattering my false pride and defeating my attempt. To you, the Supreme Lord, spiritual master, and supreme soul, I have now come for shelter. Shukadeva Goswami said, thus glorified by Indra, Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, smiled and then spoke to him as follows, in a voice resonant like the clouds. My dear Indra, it was out of mercy that I stopped the sacrifice meant for you. You were greatly intoxicated by your opulence as King of Heaven, and I wanted you to always remember me. A man blinded by intoxication with his power and opulence cannot see me nearby with the rod of punishment in my hand. If I desire his real welfare, I drag him down from his materially fortunate position. Indra, you may now go. Execute my order and remain in your appointed position as King of Heaven, but be sober, without false pride. There's a few more verses, but I want to end with this point. Surabhi gives some prayers, and they worship him. But this is the most important verse. The second most is have lots of fried cakes. And the most important is this. A man blinded by intoxication with his power and opulence cannot see me nearby with the rod of punishment in my hand. Death is there, right next to us. Death is not like COVID. Not everyone gets COVID. So if somebody gets it, you can kind of say, I'm so, did you hear this so-and-so relative, this friend, they got COVID, and maybe they had it bad, maybe they didn't. But not everyone's necessarily going to get COVID, right? It's not, lots of people are just not going to get it. So it makes sense to feel bad for maybe someone who got it, because you may not, someone else, the rest of your family may not. Death isn't like that. So when we feel bad for someone, right? Oh, did you hear so-and-so passed away? Imagine that conveyor belt you put your security things in through at the airport, right? It's kind of going, and then it, there's little flaps, and then it goes kind of, you don't know what's going on there. So imagine there's goats on that conveyor belt. And the other side comes out goat meat. So the goats are talking, did you hear? Did you hear Nancy? She became goat meat. That's really bad, right? Okay, whatever. Oh yeah, Chuck, Narendra, he also became goat meat. They're on the conveyor belt. They're on the conveyor belt, right? So there's a poem by John Donne. Send not to know for whom the bell tolls. So you can imagine a funeral at a church has completed, and now they're ringing the church bells. Dong, dong. Oh, the village church bell is ringing. Who died? Who died? You. Everyone's going to die. We are all going to die. So we should not get unduly disturbed when others have just preceded us to the same place we are guaranteed to go. Better we focus on solving the problem for ourselves. Now, for those who don't accept another life and think I am this body, okay, there's no problem to be solved. But for those who have some sense that maybe I'm not my body. I mean, I certainly don't look like I did when I was a kid. My body's completely changed. They have some sense that, no, I don't want to die. I'm something more. That desire not to die is natural because you don't die. The body dies, not the you, the spirit soul inside. So to have some soberness about it and to understand someone else may have preceded us, but I'm going to die. What am I going to do about it? Ask not for whom the bell tolls, it tolls for thee. And what you can do about it is realize your true eternal self. And you can do that in this lifetime. And it doesn't have to be a matter of blind faith. You can actually realize your spiritual nature by following this process of chanting Hare Krishna, hearing some philosophy, tasting this Krishna Prasadam. It's a joyful process. You give up some things, eating meat, intoxication, gambling. So there's some things, but you still get to have a family. You still get to eat very tasty food. You get to go to parties and dance and sing. But we just do things a little different. And the benefit of that is you solve the death problem. You don't have to get all fidgety and kind of like, at the funeral. They call it Shmashana Vairagya. At the crematorium, everyone becomes a philosopher. Oh, yes, yeah, life is so short, and you should do what's important, whatever. And then they go home and they just do their same stuff. Watch TV, this, that, drink beer, whatever, right? Go to the job they hate, whatever. But there's a solution. There's something. And that's this Krishna consciousness. So that's a huge lesson. And it's not morbid to remember that death is standing right next to you. It just brings your life into focus, right? Don't think you have all this time to waste. Don't think this person has died, but I'm going to live forever. Even if you're young, think, this is precious time I have. Death is just the other side of that door waiting for me. What am I going to do with my life today to make it count? All right, thank you very much. Hare Krishna, happy Govardhan Puja to you.
Hare Krishna. We'll try it one more time. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. We are not fasting today, so we're good. So we should have a little bit more energy. If it's fasting, I can understand that. We're not fasting, so let's be a little more tolerant. Thank you, Naveen Sham, for a wonderful class. Haribol. Like I said, she enjoyed it. Very nice. Thank you. And it's really, and I like how he ended it. And I hope each one of us had a takeaway from this class. It's really important that when we hear words of wisdom, as they say, that there's a takeaway that we can take home and we say, what did I hear today that I can use in my life practically to approve it? If not, then whatever we have heard is like time pass, as they say. It's just a waste of time. So it's very important that we take one message with us home and really meditate on that, and really see how does it apply to my life practically, and what does it mean. And I also, as Naveen was ending his lecture, death is on the other side. He's an attorney. So attorneys, they see this every time. They see the lives of people where they just take life for granted, when death is just on the other side, right behind the door, and we just don't see it. And that's why it's so important that when we hear classes, it's given by devotees who have gone through some journey in life, and they're sharing it with us. It's not like they have nothing better to do. It's a message. So thank you again, Naveen Sham, for a wonderful class, and I hope we all took a takeaway from it. So we have 10 more minutes before we have Aarti. We have a drama that was pre-recorded by I'm trying to think of the class name. Varsha. Where's Varsha? Damodar's class. Thank you. Thank you so much. They worked really, really, really hard. Xavier, can you pull that probably away so that be behind the screen if possible, the seat and the table. Someone can help him. Thank you, Ram Babu. We're going to watch a pre-recorded drama that was pre-recorded as an offering for Govardhan Puja in pleasure, for all the devotees. It's a wonderful drama. They worked really, really hard. So I request devotees to please really pay attention, really hear, because they worked really hard. And this is the Sunday school teacher. You want to say something?
Krishna. Yes.
Please.
Yeah. Hare Krishna, everyone. And this is ISKCON of Harrisburg class. It happens every Friday, 5 to 6. And it has from ages 5 to 1 years old. And this time they are beautiful pastime of meeting Sudama to Lord Krishna. When Sudama is in lot of, I'm just giving little bit story because there are new people here. And when Krishna is Sudama's childhood friend, when Sudama is going through lot of troubles in his life, he's going through lot of poverty, he thinks to approach Lord Krishna. He decides to approach Lord Krishna, and he goes to Dwarka to meet his friend. And when he reached there, he forgot, or he is very hesitant to tell his problems. And he just surrenders to Lord Krishna with full heart. And whatever he had in his house, generally whenever we visit somebody, we get something for them. Because he was going through poverty, he didn't have anything in his house. He just carried the one handful of chipped rice. And he gives to Lord Krishna, and he doesn't tell anything about his problems. Comes back to his place, and when he comes back, all his problems were solved. It's the story of you just surrender to Lord Krishna and your problems will be solved. You don't have to tell, when you approach Krishna, you don't have to tell your problems. He just understands by himself. Only you have to surrender to him completely. Hare Krishna. And I would like to thank you, Ishika Dua, for this play script. She helped me a lot. And last but not least, all parents, because this class is all young kids, 5 to 7 years old. And for any play or drama, anything, I need a lot of help from parents, and they always help. Thank you all parents. Hare Krishna.
We will watch the drama. Hari Bol.
Sudama, who is very knowledgeable in Vedic literature. He is detached from sense enjoyment. He is poor but pure at heart and never envies anybody else. Sudama lives with his wife and children in a straw hut.
Oh, Swami, I have not eaten in a few days, but it's not my son who I'm worried about. Children have not eaten that well. Papa, I'm hungry. Oh, my Lord, isn't Lord Krishna your close friend? I heard that he's very compassionate to all the Brahmins and he'll give us alms. All right, I will do as you wish. But please, can you give me some offering that I can take for Krishna?
Sudama's wife enters his neighbor's house and asks for some alms. She receives 4 handfuls of chitkas and ties them up in a thorn cloth. Then Sudama takes them and starts his journey to Dwarka. As he reaches Krishna's palace, the gods stop him.
Oi, who are you? Why have you come here? I am Krishna's childhood friend Sudama. I have come to meet him. Krishna cannot meet you right now. He's with his wife Rukmini. You can come back tomorrow. Oh Sudama, you have came so far to visit me. Please come inside.
Lord Krishna and Sudama are very close and hug each other. Krishna personally offers Sudama a seat at his palace and gives Sudama some flowers.
Please sit, Sudama. Oh, Sudama, do you remember how we supposed to live together in our Sandipan Muni's ashram? Sudama, did you marry a suitable girl after we left our Gurukul? Oh yes, my lord. I am now happily married with children. Did you get, oh Sudama, did you get anything from your, any offering from your house?
Sudama felt ashamed that he had only brought some cheap rice for Krishna and bowed his head in shame. Krishna understood that Sudama was ashamed and snatched the cloth from Sudama. Krishna ate 2 handfuls of chick rice and was about to eat another one when Rukmini stopped Krishna. And the next day when Sudama was about to leave, he did not ask for any riches and left to go back to his village. Sudama was walking back to his house thinking how merciful Krishna is. He did not give me any riches because he knows that riches will be full of pride and my devotional life is suffered. As he reached back to his village, instead of a hut, there was a huge palace, just like Krishna's.
I must have lost my way and come back to Dwarka. Swami, Lord Krishna is the most merciful. He has given us the most abundant riches. I have a big garden and a lot of food to eat. Oh Krishna, You are the most kind, and even though I did not ask for anything, you understood why I had visited you. You are true to your word since you carry what your devotees lack and protect what your devotees have. I shall continue to serve you life after life. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Haribol!
Haribol. It's really, really important that when we have the young people serving the temple, when we have the young people, doing service, that even the adults are there present supporting them. It is not like, okay, the kids are doing service and I can just sit home and just take, like to say, shoot the breeze. We have to support them. These are the future of Srila Prabhupada's mission. And am I supposed to go forward or do I go back? Okay, they have to move. Okay, I'm being told that they have to come back. Okay, we got to push back only this side, right? Okay, the men are fine. It's just the women. Okay. So when we look at this youth giving such nice service, it's very important that we join in the service with them. We encourage them. We be present. The key word is we be present with them. Not that I drop you off and I go home. Be present, because these kids are amazing, amazing. So without further delay, let's roll with the music. And young ladies, please do march forward. Haribol. And Giridhari Govardhan was speaking. Thank you, Meera. That was sweet. That's really cute, wasn't it? You know, the Lord is speaking. Thank you, girls. What you guys think? Harival. Very, very sweet pastime. The Lord and his gopis surrendering to the Lord in this one beautiful day of Govardhan Puja. This is the beauty of yes. Who choreographed it? Everybody choreographed it, but I have to confess that Bhavya, the youngest Bhavya, this is a good move. That's a good move. Yeah, add this move. All the girls did it. This is what I get with these girls. We'll give all the credit to Mother Tungavidya. Harival. This is the beauty of our young people, you know. These kids were born and raised in the movement, and all they know is Krishna. All they want to know is Prabhupada, and they will do anything for the Lord. And this is very nice that we see such enthusiasm. Actually, when we see young people like them, so enthusiastic, we should join in with them, not just sit back. We should join in and dance. You know, like when we have Kirtan, when Nitya Gopal and Xavier and Shorab, where's Shorab? There he is. When they start dancing, we should be joining in and dancing and not just say, oh, that's a nice move. No, let's move. That's what Lord Chaitanya did, right? When Lord Chaitanya walked down the street of Navadvip, he didn't just say, okay, let's walk. No, he danced, which we are going to do next. So we'll kick up a nice appetite and have a late night prasad. So without further delay, before we start the Aarti, we will start with Aarti, followed by Nashinga Aarti, followed by Damdarastakam. and we save the best for last. Govardhan Parikrama. And I have to say that this cute little Govardhan here was made by none other than our great Meera. She did an excellent, it looks like a mountain, does it not? It's completely cake. It looks gorgeous. So when we are dancing around, and also when where's Aditya? When we start Kirtan, can you remove this curtain? And around Govardhan Hill, you will see the beautiful village of Vrindavan. Mountains and mountains of prasadam. My humble request is, I was told by the preparers that there are 3 devotees assigned to pack the boga, rather than we go, whoa! Becomes a fiasco. So we would like to, there'll be 3 devotees that will be around it. So please, whatever you want, just let them know. They'll pack it for you. And we're ready. Haribol. Okay, Aarti Kirtan ki. And here is Giri Govardhan. You can dance closer during Aarti, no problem. You can come right up and dance.
Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Muhatyani Satarine. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Jaya Radha Shalal Bihari Radha Shalal Bihari Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Shalal Bihari Radha Shalal Bihari Shri Radhe. Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Radhe, Jaya Shri Radhe. Jaya Jagana, Jaya Jagana, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Goranitai, 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 Jaya Goranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Srila Prabhupada. Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Nitai Gora Haribo. Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur, Vaishnav Thakur, Jaya Vaishnav Thakur. Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev. Nitai Gora Haribo, 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 Gora Haribo. Gora Premanande. Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Privajikacharya Stotra Satya Sishimari Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Shri Prabhupada Ki. Jaya Om Vishnupad Paramhamsa Privajikacharya Stotra Satya Sishimari Divine Grace Shri Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj Prabhupada Ki. Ananta Koti Vaishnavinda Ki. Namacharya Shri Haridas Thakur Ki. ISKCON founder Charya Shri Prabhupada Ki. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री द्वैत गदाधर शिवाचार्य गौर भक्तवृंद की श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की वृंदावन धाम की मथुरा धाम की नवद्वीप धाम की जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गिरि गोवर्धन की गंगा माई की जमुना माई की तुलसी देवी की भक्ति देवी की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की सामवेद भक्तवृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the lotus feet of Shri Shri Guru and Gauranga. Glory to Prabhupada. You can give out the handouts for Damodarastakam. It's right on top of it. Brajamana. Yashoda Biyolukana Navanana Param Vishram Atyanta Duditagupya. Yashoda Biyolukana Navanana Param Vishram Atyanta Duditagupya. Yudantam Muhunitam Yugam Vijantam Param Bujam Glumena Satam Kanitam. Yudantam Muhunitam Yugam Vijantam Param Bujam Glumena Satam Kanitam. Muhu Swasakam Pate Rekakakanta Sita Gaivam Damodaram Bhaktivadam. Muhu Swasakam Pate Rekakakanta Sita Gaivam Damodaram Bhaktivadam. Itik Dishwari Ananda Kunde Swago Samni Majantam Akya Payantam. Itik Dishwari Ananda Kunde Swago Samni Majantam Akya Payantam. Gandhi Jesu Gangesu Bhakta Jitatvam Puna Premastastam Satam Vitivandi. Adi Yesita Yesu Bhakta Jitatvam Prema Tasam Satam Vitivandi. Param Deva Mokshana Moksham Navimda Achanyam Vineham Varishad Apiha. Manasya Virastam Kimanye Idam te mukambojam ajantanimai Vetam kundanai singyak raksak sagupya Idam te mukambojam ajantanimai Vetam kundanai singyak raksak sagupya Manasya virastam alam lakshalabe Ohos chumbitam bimbam ratam darame Manasya virastam alam lakshalabe Namo Devaranmoda Rananta Vishnu Prasida Pabodukam Jalam Dinagnam Namo Devanamoda Rananta Vishnu Prasida Paboduka Jalam Dimana Vipadesti Vishati Dinam Batanu Vinani Samam Agyam Ikyak Sitisya Siddhisyatu dinam patanu Krihani samam akyam ikyak siddhisya Kuveratmajo badam muyat kayatpan Ratamu citau bakti pajau kitau Kuveratmajo badam muyat kayatpan Rayamu citau bakti pajau kitau Prayatsa Namoksi Kamo Mesti Damo Dariha Namaste Sudam Nespu Radip Tidambe Padiyo Daraya Namoste Studamne Spuraditidamne Vadiyodaraya Vishwasadamne. Amodadikaya Swaniya Priyaya Anudantalinaya Devaya Amoradikaya Swaniya Priyaya Namolantanilaya Devaya Tubhya. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ramo, Hare Ramo, Ramo Ramo, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Ethai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo. Ethai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Ethai Gora Hari Bo. Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Ethai Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Ethai Gora Hari Bo. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo. Bihari Radha Shri Bihari Shri Radhi. Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Jagannath, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Haribo, Nitai Gora Haribo. Gora Pemanande. Jai Giri Govardhan ki. Shira Prabhupada ki. Nitai Gora Pemanande. Shaidu Jana